Maverick traders, welcome out to your currency recap for October 13th. Corey here with you. We're going to talk about the last few trading sessions. Boy, it's been a volatile ride. We'll talk about the potential for tariffs on China, how this has disrupted or changed markets, and where the next opportunities are in crypto or in Forex pairs.
All trades and analysis in this video are intended for professional traders only. This content does not constitute financial advice and is for educational purposes. This video is being released after a short delay due to Compliance Department review. Maverick members receive this content immediately as part of their daily trading resources. If you're ready to level up, consider joining Maverick Currencies. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits. You bring the skill, we provide the backing. Let's get into today's market recap and see how the pros are trading the currency markets.
All right, so as we look at markets, been a wild couple of trading sessions from Friday till today, but today we saw a bounce back in equities and risk on. Trump softened his rhetoric towards China. There was fear that it would escalate, and there was talk of 100% tariffs and slapping those things on, and the market's worried about a rerun of that. Well, a lot of that risk came off today, or at least the markets are more confident that that's not going to be the progression of things. There is a partial government shutdown, which means economic reports might be delayed. They're simply, non-farm payrolls is scheduled for this Friday. Well, it might be delayed a little bit. As we look at performance, Aussie with a strong up day, Japanese yen with a strong down day, but that's again a bit of a reversal from what we saw at the end of last week, and it just speaks to risk on today. It was risk off big time on Friday. Everything else relatively flat. Equities bounced back. Crypto, gold, a big outperformer, and gold's been on an enormous tear to the upside. Oil continues to lag and to underperform. Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, all slightly higher. One of those better than the other, and the chart looks better than the rest. But there's not a lot of velocity in the markets right now. The SPX is going through a chart pattern that is, normally we think of the symmetrical triangle where price action zigs and zags, but you end up in a tighter consolidation, what we call a volatility compression. And they call this a symmetrical triangle. You have lower highs and higher lows. Every once in a while, you have a volatility pickup, and it's basically the opposite pattern. It's a widening out. So you get some price extremes, and whether you call this the alligator mouth, you see how he's opening up his mouth, or the megaphone. Basically, that's what the market's doing right now, is it's expanding in volatility, but going nowhere. So we have higher highs and an expansion of the lows, but we're still in this range. Now, I would still give the benefit of the doubt to the uptrend. There's still more of a chance of further upside. I've certainly beat the drum on that we've been in this escalation of things to the upside and this exhaustive type of move. That's been in place. Could it calm? Well, that's what we've been doing. We're in something of a consolidation. Volatility picking up and consolidating. It's a little more rare, but it's where we're at. Notice the notification at the bottom. U.S. government data may be impacted by the shutdown. Tentative events. They're subject to delay, revision, or cancellation. So we have a schedule, but we're not sure whether these numbers are going to come out. Will we get PPI and retail sales on Thursday? Friday, the data, I misspoke and said non-farm payrolls. That was already released, but Friday there's nothing scheduled. But the things that are scheduled, well, we shall see if those actually come out. Now, this is a pretty ugly looking velocity chart. Literally nothing outside of the -1 to +1. The good news, well, there's a few things on the cusp. And I would say that if you're looking in crypto, there's one possible thing to buy, and that's Ethereum. That's it. The other cryptos, I wouldn't really trust this rally. Ethereum could be on the doorstep of a trade to the upside. If you wanted a an FX pair, British pound or US dollar on the upside, paired with New Zealand dollar on the downside, those are the closest things to a possible trade. Now let's look at the charts and see why velocity is so lacking here. First, if we come over to the US dollar chart. So this is USD versus all of the other currencies. You can see we're sideways, right? But it's a good looking chart. We have a tight consolidation. We have rising lows. We're getting into the wedge portion where a lot of times there's a big bursting move. And you can see that anything above 50 and below 70 is considered healthy in the RSI. Now, we're not trending higher. We're not really, making new highs or anything, but we're on the cusp of that. So I think your best looking chart for an upside trade is US dollar. Well, what do we pair it with? The only thing that's somewhat close to the downside is the New Zealand dollar. Now, the New Zealand dollar's been bouncing. Again, you can kind of see the consolidative aspect to it, but I still think, well, we're in a downward trend. You can see we're on a sell signal, downward sloping moving averages. RSI not quite there, but maybe on the cusp of rolling over. And so I think US dollar long, Kiwi short is the next trade. If we go to the crypto space, as I said, there's just not anything really that looks good. This is how they're all positioned. Litecoin, you can see how it's right at the moving average. This is right around 50. We're just choppy. We had the big sell-off on Friday, and we had a little bit of a bounce back. My inkling would be that most of these are going to roll over to this side. If you want to trade something higher, the closest thing, the best looking chart for an upside trade would be Ethereum. I don't know that it's going to have the staying power either, but it would be the one that I would consider. I wouldn't consider the other cryptos for upside trades at all. So we're in a no velocity environment. That's okay. There's always something of an opportunity just around the corner. Probably not many trade ideas and opportunities as much today, but these things ebb and flow. Where there's not a lot of opportunities today, next week there might be an abundance of them. And frankly, I really like that US dollar long Kiwi short pair in the not too distant future. So keep an eye out on that one. Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.